Welcome back to Novel Writing 101, the 21-week course where I teach you how to write the first draft of your novel. Now, you guys, this is our last week. This is week 21, our reflection week. Let's get into it. Congratulations, you've officially finished the course, and hopefully you're sitting here with your first draft. I know it's probably been a very long 5 months, and I commend you with sticking with it because now you can say you have your first draft completed and you're ready for really like the meat and potatoes of writing a novel, which is the editing phase. This is where we're going to take everything we put into our first draft and expand upon it and make it that polished, amazing story that you want to share with readers. Now, don't stress out. I know I've thrown a lot at you the past 21 weeks, so you don't immediately need to go into the editing phase. You can take a well-deserved break. I like to let my manuscript sit for about a month if I'm not in crazy workaholic mode, which is kind of hard to kick sometimes, but just to take a step back from the material and kind of get a fresh perspective when I do come back to it. Now, I can make an entire novel writing 201 course if you guys are interested in how I go about my editing phases. So if you are interested, drop a comment, let me know, but let me give you just the bare bones of what to expect. I always print my first draft for my first round of edits. It's a lot easier for me to have like the physical manuscript in front of me so I can go page by page, line by line, and just read it over once through, make any like high level edits I would say I want to make, any typos I catch. I might call out a thing like circling a whole paragraph and being like, this needs to be worked out more, or I don't actually want this character to react in this way, I want them to react in this way. I won't necessarily write out the entire new scene in the first edit. I'll kind of just like put my notes down. And then when I go into the second edit, I will go through all of my handwritten notes on this printed manuscript, update it in my Word writing document. I use Scrivener. And then make those edits then. So I'll expand upon what I wrote notes-wise in here in the second edit. Now, you don't need to do it like that. Again, like everything when writing and creative process, it is your own to kind of explore and decide what works for you. But now, having been through this multiple times, I found that this process works best for me. I like doing my first edit printed, then my second edit updated in the document, and then I do a third edit, and then I go to beta readers, and then my fourth and fifth and sixth in proofreading. So that works for me, but let me know if you guys want, again, my fully expanded upon editing course. So I'm sitting here with the first draft of my horror novel, Lick the Bones Clean, which I did shift. I know when we started out I was going to write Dark Seas. I definitely shelved that project and unshelved this project. So again, sometimes shit changes and you just have to go with your gut, and my gut said to finish the horror novel, and so I finished the horror novel. And then I did stick with the fantasy novella, Project Arcadia, so that is here. As you can see, this is a novella and this is a full-length novel, so the difference in the printed manuscript is quite funny. And this is like the smallest novel I've ever written. This is about, I want to say, like 72,000 words. My first horror novel ever, I think, was like 105,000 words. And my fantasy novels range from like 110 to 150,000 words. So this is small for me, so this is tiny. But I'm really excited to dive into these for the editing phases. Again, I'm a workaholic, so I'm going to dive immediately into Project Arcadia and try to get the first and second edit done in a month because I'm crazy. And it's really small, so I don't think it'll be that difficult. But I hope you guys had a great time in the course. I hope you learned something. I hope you learned something about yourself and like what you're capable of, because something like writing a novel seems very daunting, and don't get me wrong, it is really tough. But if you stick with it and like week after week, baby step after baby step, you just commit to it, you can get it done. So I hope that you're feeling proud of yourself today. So this week, your only homework is to kind of just sit with yourself and reflect about the last 21 weeks, how it's gone for you. I want you to be proud of yourself. Again, like this is a big feat. I know you can be like, oh, the first draft, but like I still have many more drafts to do. But in my experience, the first draft is the hardest part of the writing process because you have to like tell the story from nothing, and you have to work through the ick of like maybe not telling it right the first time. Where the editing phase to me is a lot easier and a lot more fun because you're kind of just like fleshing it out and adding more details and fixing typos and things like that. So be proud of yourself. Just reflect, and I won't see you guys next week, but happy writing, happy reading, and I'll see you when I see you.